Welcome all. You're tuned in to Turn Inward with Turner Roberts. And today, I just want to express myself. It's a beautiful day, and I'm so thankful. I'm outside recording. The weather is nice. There's a low fog, so the sun is illuminating the light, but you don't see it. It's in the background. And there's like this stillness, this peace, this balance in the atmosphere that just is so beautiful. One day, I was at a low point in my life and I wanted to find higher ground. I was at the beach. It was a nice sunny day, summertime, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I began to stare deep into the horizon where the sky and the water met way far out in the distance. And I began to breathe. And I began to breathe. And my vision began to, I guess the best way to describe it is it seemed like it began to bend because it seemed like I was looking in through a tunnel at a certain point. And everything, the sounds, the waves, the birds, the people speaking, it seemed like it was coming from inside of me. The volume was intensified. It was coming from every direction. It was surround sound never sound this good is the best way I can explain it. It was beautiful. It was magical. And then I can feel the water hitting my body from the sound of the waves hitting the sand. I can feel the sensation, the tingling throughout my whole body as the waves would crash on the ocean sand. It was so beautiful. It was magical. It was like I was in a whole nother place. But I was right exactly where I started when I began to gaze in the horizon. But in the process of gazing, I fell inward. I found my place of peace, comfort, quality living, a quality life. Something I thought I would never achieve. And here it is right in front of my face. It's almost hard to explain it. And to be honest, it was like a matter of 2 years, everything completely turned around. And within that 2 years, I lost my mother. That experience for me, it really brought reassurance to me understanding life and death and energy, spirit, soul, oneness. It really helped me understand that I really believed in these concepts. I knew that she was closer to me more than she ever had been in my whole life the moment I knew she made her transition. I was disappointed because that's human of me. But after I got past the disappointment, within a few minutes, I began to pray and give God thanks and let him know I know he doesn't make mistakes. And it was divine purpose that all this happened the way it happened. And I was humbled and thankful at that moment because when I was younger, my sister passed away. I was 14 years old. It's 1992. And my sister had an asthma attack while she was 5 months pregnant. And she went into a coma for 10 days. And then they took her off the plug and she stopped breathing. I resented life. I resented everything, even God. And I've held on to that for 22 years. It wasn't until I was 36 years old Like I said, 2 years ago, everything opened up once I finally forgave that situation, forgave myself for the anger I was holding in because of that situation. It wasn't until I began to look at me, look inward, and find out what was hurting me. And once I seen the problem, I reached in and I pulled it out. Because I knew no matter how much pain I would go through from reaching in and removing that virus, me leaving it there would continue to have a lifetime amount of pain. So instead of going through the struggle, I just reached in and pulled it out and gave thanks. Because at that very moment, I was healed. Yes, it does take time for wound to heal. But sometimes, when it's an emotional wound and your mind is right, it can happen at that very moment you choose to allow it to happen. That's why guiding our minds is very important. That's why being transparent is very important. Until we can be honest with ourselves about who we are, what we want, what we're here for, what our purpose is, and what we have for ourselves and others, until we can be honest in that aspect of life, we will never, ever be able to truly guide our minds to bring forth the creation, the divinity, the plan that God has already programmed in you. Don't let your fears, don't let your doubts, don't let your disappointments stir you away from what is possible. You have greatness within you. Let it shine. Thank you again for listening. I'm Turner Roberts, and you have been listening to Turn Inward. Have a beautiful day.